So, good day, everyone. Maz is okay here. I am bringing us a live update on what is happening in Anambra State as the vote is being counted, or rather, people are still voting. And obviously, as you all know, we did our best last week to bring to us all the updates that you need to know as regards to the vote. This is Ihiala, and as you can see from this, video here, or footage rather, you will see that a lot of people actually came out for this election. A lot of people came out for this election. I mean, it's not unexpected. It is indeed expected because suddenly there are things at play. You know, it's not weekend. So people who have gone home, some of them came back on Sunday, people who left the state over the weekend thinking there's going to be sit at home. So many of them came back on Sunday. Some came back this morning. Now, we have a clip where Victor Ume was stopped from entering Ihiala. The argument was that he's not supposed to be there. In so many forums, in so many Igbo elite forums or forums where I also do belong, argument has been raging since morning. Oh, why are they stopping him? Or I think I take a different view. I've also made he's also there, but I've made my view known to him as well. Yes, he was the former chairman of the party. Is he supposed to be in Ihiala? He said he's a party agent. Him being party agent, is that for the state or for the local government? I mean, you political juggernauts there, you can help me do the analysis. And sadly, it appears that one person has been shot in Ihiala. I don't know the circumstances of that person being killed is still a little bit sketchy. So we are trying to get more information as regards to the individual that was shot or the individual that was killed. Now, this election, I can share with us actually what we are expecting to happen in this election, obviously. And that will be, around 5 o'clock. I will come back after this brief analysis. I will come back later to do a more in-depth analysis, hopefully using INEC data to obviously say what next is going to happen. But from all indication, it appears that Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo will be winning this election. There is no reason why he wouldn't, because obviously the people now in Ihiala who have now seen that people are vote or rather have voted him, it will be foolhardy for them not to vote him. Honestly, I mean, if I'm being here, it will be foolhardy for them not to. So I see every reason why Soludo will be. And bear in mind again, for you to win this election, you need to have, like in the presidential election, have scored 25% across board. So obviously 25%, if someone has won all the local virtually all the local governments, 18 out of 21, it basically shows that you basically need to have that widespread. So all you needed for him, all that is needed for him now to be declared winner is that little push. And I believe for the people of Ihiala to have that last push, they would also give him that ticket. Now, if we look at this information here, let me quickly share this with us. So we'll see what happened a couple of years back. Obviously, when data, many of you know that I like to do things with data. I like to review and analyze data, because when you do that, it gives you a glimpse and an insight into what is likely to happen and what you are likely to see and what you will and you should be expecting. Let me go back and bring 2010 result. So maybe the 2010 result is going to help us understand what the projections that we have here. So on the screen now is Ihiala's election in 2010. Now, let's see if I can make, okay. If you look at this, you see that in 2010, Ihiala had 83,348, voters, and valid votes were 16,029. Now, you can see in that election clearly, APGA won, second PDP, AC third. And you can see that in 2013, total number of valid registered voter, 111,000. APGA won with 10,000. So basically doubling what they had here, right? And PDP still came second and APC third. Now go back to 2017. You obviously see that APGA, so you see the number of registered voter, went up as it did from here, the percentage, and went up from 111 to 124. And APGA won by 14,000, now 10,000 more. Now, I do not see any reason why we are not going to, if we believe in data, I do not see any reason why we're not going to see a repeat of what has happened in 2010, in 2013, and in 2017. After 2017, here we have 2021. Bear in mind, these in 2000 and, in these years were not supplementary election. So they didn't know how others were voting. They were all voting simultaneously, blindly, without knowing who is going to win. Now here, Ihiala is now been given expo, as some people would say. Ihiala has been, they have a foreknowledge of how they will vote, because by the supplementary election, they will now see politics, what I call politics Nigeriana, politics Nigerian way. They would want to now align with the incoming governor so that they can go back and say, Oga, we'll give you our vote, we voted you, now we want you to do X, Y, Z for us. So it is much easier for them to align with whatever every other sector, every other area in Anambra has done, as opposed to say, no, we're not going to vote, let us go the other way. You see? Now, beyond that, one other thing I think that also needs to happen, and now I need to appeal to my brothers, my friends who are contestants in this election. Please, brothers, by end of today, what I'm expecting is that by the moment INEC announces this result, I am expecting you all to make that call to concede. Making that call to concede, seeing how the election has gone, very, very transparent, no issues whatsoever, aside places where, when I was doing the analysis, like I discovered the weekend, sites like Abatete, and which eventually I've been told that whoever was behind those figures that I displayed here has been arrested by the police. Now, aside that, where you saw very silly and wild margin by the APC based on cooked up, that is the keyword, cooked up figures. But aside that, you can see that the election, yes, there was voter apathy, but yet people came out to vote. So if I'm analyzing this, if I'm looking at this data and I'm now looking at it and I'm saying, okay, based on this data, honestly, if I blow it up, let me see, if I expand it more and basically stay only within these 2 years, honestly, I would struggle to see why we're not going to have a repeat of this. Because in this data, you can see clearly, let's say 2010 is too far away, so we'll remove 2010. But if we stay in the last two elections that produced Obiano, you can see in 2013, APGA won by 10,724. In 2017, the last time, 2013, they won by 10,724. Now, 2017, they won by 14,379. So if we look at that, if we stay in this lane, for me, it tells me only one thing. It tells me that the result of this evening is not going to be different. Honestly, that's the way, that's the way I would, that's the way I will actually look at it, that it's not going to be anything different from what we have seen before. But be that as it may, let's go back and show you how the people are voting. And meanwhile, some of you who are joining me for the first time, my name is Mazuzuk and this is Indian Media TV. What we do here is to dispassionately, without any emotion, analyze these things, trying to make sense out of a lot of things happening within the various polling units and within our environment. So join us as we show you what is actually happening in the various polling units. Well, and like I said, sadly that someone lost their life, which in the whole of states, that didn't happen. So the details are still sketchy. But if you join me in this short broadcast, and I promise you by the time I come back between 5 and 6, when we will be having more clarity as to what exactly happened, I promise that I will be doing justice to that at that time. But for now, let's go back to the polling unit and find out exactly what is happening and how the people are voting. So let's continue with that.
Asna ntuli aka nke a ga-ebido na elekere nke ụtụtụ, mana ile anya ọ fọrọ nkeji ole na ole ka elekere tụọ, mana dịka o si adị enwebeghị ndị burula ngwa ọrụ ha gawa ebe ha ga-anọ mee ya bụ ntuli aka. Nke a na-egosi na ntuli aka nwekwara ike ọ gaghị ebido n'oge esiche ya na ọ ga-ebido. Ọ dị mma ka pụta na ụlọ INEC fọrọ mpụta asị na ha ga-ahụ na emere ntuli aka nke a ọ ga-asịrị iwe na-enwe nsogbu ọbụla. Bụkwa na ka o si kwuo ụbọchị taa na anyị ga-ahụ ndị ka na-ahazi ndewo biko kwata ihe na-eme ebe a.
Coppers sent from other town can make food biasi akanko. So ndị nọbano a na-enwe challenges if it's us n'ebe a ga-anọ wee to the vote. So why I bịa n'ime
ebe onye Copper
mba mụ alụ Copper
mana gịnị mezikwa na eji kpọta ndị ọzọ bịawa ebe a ma na enwe ndị nọbụ anọ kwụsịrị n'ọrụ a ka ihe merisi ndị ọzọ si dị anya gbara ụgbọ bịawa ebe a?
Ihe ma eji kpọta ndị ọzọ from n'aka on Saturday on 6 November in na this Nyala there's no no work, no advanced staff. INEC, they are on the INEC. But other places, we got some done. Also say that. And another thing is security challenge. Candidates now they are afraid to come along. So eba kita asa idea say. I said the message in Nambia, Maka, eso mo na ke amacha. I said that Nambia, Maka,
That's about Monday. Ke kusi lu ni hala.
Monday boloso. Monday I said message just everywhere. There's no space.
Manubu now. Nwelande buru akrungwa hapo. Maka asi nanti laka jibu. Moko elekiri. Nwelande buru nke haga webe hapo seno.
Obelo. I can do simple. Those say before 12, come on, go African time. Before 12, I go.
Now they can't see that call game. Some work with 3 meters. Now I put in the plan. How do you go?
Normally, both in 2:30. We have a live, but this one
yeah, we look around.
Okay, this one I'm 8:37. Okay, if I put the about more, and here we 148,000 digital voters. So I make up with men one, final one. On
Ndewo. Kaine na nyamara ihe ga-emeze ba. Ịnụla no ka asụ kwuo. Ọ sị na ihe mere na-eme gị ntuli aka ebe a n'ụbọchị bụ na ụfọdụ ndị kwesịrị INEC ọrụ ji ụjọ ịhụra n'otu nchekwa si dị na mpaghara ebe a kachasị ihe ala maka na ha na Imo steeti nwere agbata obi nwere ọtụtụ akụkọ banyere ihe iyi egwu nchekwa na mpaghara ebe a. O mere ụjọ jiri ụfọdụ ndị na-amụ INEC ọrụ mere ha agaghị ụbọchị ahụ ekwesịrị ime ka bụ Satọde mana eruziri kịta enwere ndị SND dozi si ha bịawa ebe a ndị ọrụ INEC bụ ebe a ka eme ya bụ ntuli aka apụtazie gị ụzọ ndị mmadụ ma ekwesịghị ịrụ n'ụbọchị Satọde ahụ gaziri bịa emezie ndị mmadụ akazi efu ka na-achọzi ebe a ga-afọnye ndị mmadụ ka enwe ike n'ọrụ a. Ọ bụ ya bụ nsogbu a na-enwe ebe a ụbọchị taa. Ka anyị na-ahụ ka o si aga ọ mekwara mata na onwebeghị onye ọbụla si ebe a pụọ bụ ndị bu ngwaọrụ INEC nke bụ na ngwaọrụ a ntuli aka ga-adịzi dịka ha si kwuo na mbụ na ọ ga-amalite n'elekere 10 nke ụtụtụ a mana ọ dịzị ka ọ gaghị enwezi isi. Anyị ga anọ na-ele anya mara ka o si aga. Chetakwa na ebe ị nọ na BBC News Igbo. Onye na-asa ya egosi ebe ndị nchekwa nọ. Ndị nchekwa tupu gị bata ebe a ọmụgo onye ọbụla batara n'ime ụlọ ebe a na-enweghị ezigbo nyocha trasị. Ị ga-ejiri ihe eji amara gị ọ bụrụ na ị bụ onye nta akụkọ ịbụ onye ọrụ INEC bụrụ nke ọbụla ebu ị ga-egosi ihe eji mara gị. Ndị nkwa juru ebe niile ọ na-agakwa n'udo dịka kwesịrị isi mana ị ga-ahụ na ndị n'ebe a na-akọzi ka a ga-esi pụọ buru ngwa ọrụ ebe dị iche iche. Oge na-adịghị anya nkeji 10 ga ha akụ ugbu a elekere 10 ga ha akụ ugbu a mana nwebeghị nke mere eme. Nwayọọ a na ha akpọkọrọ ngwongwo ha na-aga ebe ha kwesịrị ịga. A na-atụ anya n'oge na-adịghị anya ugbu a a ga-ebuli njem gawa ọdọ ebe a na-atụ vootu dị iche iche n'okpuru ọchịchị Ihiala Anambra steeti. iwe na-ewe ọtụtụ ndị nọ ebe a maka na a sịrị ka eburu ha bughachi ebe ebu ha kpọọ ha oku ha bịa rụọ ọrụ ebe a eburu ha bughachi ebe si bute ha mana ụlọ ọrụ ọ dị ka a na-asị ha na onweghị otu a ga-esi buru ha bughachi maka na ụgbọala bụ ha bụ ihe kwesịrị iwu ndị mmadụ gawa ebe a ga-eme ntuli aka nke o si kwuru ebe anyị ugbu a anyị ga-anọkwa ebe anyị wetara gị ka ihe a si na-aga ọ bụrụ na ha si ebe a pụọ ugbu a buru ya gawa ebe kwesịrị ibu ya aga anyị ga-esokwa ha gaa hụ ka ya bụ mbinye aka si aga n'okpuru ọchịchị Ihiala dị na Anambra steeti chetakwa na ebe nọ na BB News Igbo ebe a na-ewetara gị akụkọ dị ọkụ ka o si dịkụ anyị nọ ugbu a na Ihiala dị na Anambra steeti ebe a ga-emetọpụ ntuli aka ọkwa gọvanọ na Anambra steeti bụ nke emere na ụbọchị Satọde mana emechaghị ihe ọnọdụ nchekwa okpuru ọchịchị Ihiala mana ụbọchị taa ka a ga-emechapụ ya.
So thank you everyone that have joined us. Obviously, as you can see, the election started very late. Given that one can only keep wondering, why does it appear that INEC keeps getting it? Things can never. But again, some of you already commented in the comment section. That's why Africa, that's why it is something is called like African time. But I think this concept of African time is something really, something really not the best for us. We have to do away with it. We can do better than what we are doing. But be that as it may, there is every indication that the election has started and the election is going on smoothly, aside the incident that I mentioned before. And this incident is that the former APGA national chairman in the person of Victor May was turned back not to go to Ihiala. And that has divided many people. Some believe that he should actually go to Ihiala, while some believe, well, as long as he has nothing to do in Ihiala, what's the need of going there? Again, if we recall, there was a time, I believe in 2017, that El-Rufai wanted to go to the election of Anambra State. And El-Rufai was stopped. Question is, if El-Rufai was stopped, because that was in his state, is it then wrong to stop Victor going into Ihiala if Ihiala is not where he's supposed to be? What has voted? I don't know. So again, be the judge yourself. But one thing to know is that if we can look at issues dispassionately without really getting much into motion about some certain things that might get us to see things from different perspectives. But I do hope and I pray that there's not going to be any more stories after today, because you can see that people really came out and people were ready to actually vote. And some of you who are joining me, thank you very much for joining me. Bro Olu Victory Praise, you joined from Venice, Italy, and Sino. I don't know where you're joining me from, but I guess that many of you are joining from the diaspora, and many of you are like local diaspora, those of you in Abuja, and those of you in Lagos and other places, some of you from Ekiti, Ado-Ekiti. I hope none of you is watching me from Zamfara Forest. But I wouldn't be surprised to know that I have people watching me from Zamfara Forest, and some of you may even be watching me from Zahazago. Who knows? Christian Biko is watching from Norway. That's good. Like I said, let's see how the election plays out. And at the end of the day, the result will come out. And join me this evening from 6 o'clock Nigerian time when I will be doing the full analysis. Hopefully by that time, INEC would have also uploaded their results. One thing, before INEC did their collation on Saturday, no, on Sunday, it's only here at the meeting that we already have looked at the data before INEC collation officers started looking at it, because we have access to, we have an account and we have access to that database, and we are able to show you people how that result is looking at that point. I said without looking at every single word, but what we did was basically to look at what we did was to look at accounts of people, or rather by their local government, which was very clear. You look at Newi, see Ifeanyuba is leading, but Ifeanyuba appears not to be too happy. He thought that some people betrayed him, but again, that's politics. And we saw Ozigbo winning, and we saw Andiuba winning in his own locality in Agwata, and Ozigbo winning Amesi and some parts of Agwata, and Professor Soludo winning Isofia and some other parts as well. But aggregated, it means that eventually a winner emerged. And it has shown that actually the violence that you see in Anambra is not orchestrated by the people of Anambra. Because Anambra, as the cradle of the Great Igbo nation, is a peaceful state. That is a place where my good friend late Uche Ezechukwu from Amesi normally says that the people of Agwata the people of Anambra during election can engage in what he called Ebono, firing AK-47, firing bazooka with their mouth, but not really firing to hurt anyone. And if we go by that antecedent, that there has never been any election done in Anambra where lives are lost like in other states, like if you have an election in Rivers, it's like war zone, But Anambra State is always peaceful, and that was seen last Saturday. And a clear case that the violence is not orchestrated by the people. So let's see this update. You can now see people voting. One thing that is very clear is that you will see very, very high turnout. Ihiala will surprise all of us, because Ihiala, from the numbers we've seen so far, the way people trooped out, you cannot compare it to what happened on Saturday. Suddenly, it appears everybody now say, oh, okay, we have to go vote. So I would expect at the end of today, in my analysis, to see Ihiala having more and higher number. More and higher number. I would also expect probably to see Ihiala, as I have shown us before. For those of you who are joining late, you can go back afterwards and rewind and watch this video later, starting from the beginning. I'm expecting to see Ihiala also have real high number, surpassing what we had in the last election. If that happens, it will mean that Ihiala is the only place where you see, rather than decline like others, where you actually see voters turn out more. Now, Excel Vision, thank you very much for joining me. Says joining from diaspora, but it appears this stream is only for Ndihiala. Anderson George says he's in Indonesia but watching from, but he's from Ihiala. So Ndihiala, that means if that is for you and you're making, if you see your mom, see your sister on camera, that means you people have to pay your tithe, be that at this may, as however you want to do it. So let's leave you to obviously look at how the people are voting. Then I will see you guys again later in the day, while we'll now go back and see what has actually happened and update all the information, but the full analysis definitely would happen later in the day. So join me later from 6 o'clock. It may not be 6 o'clock dots, depending on the information, because this is, there are avalanche of information that we need to now plow through to, condense them as to which content we need to push out. So that is happening right now as we speak, and would also happen more when I come back later to basically do the analysis. Hopefully by the time I will be coming back, I will now go back, I will concentrate on the analysis on Ihiala based on what INEC has uploaded up to that moment. Okay, so let's get this rolling. While this is still ongoing, I might have to go to INEC and see what is happening there.
Anambra State. Dịka ihe ahụ na ọ na-aga ọfụma ka o kwesịrị ịga na nnukwu ebinyela aka n'akwụkwọ nke ya ga-atụnyezi ya. Ọ bụrụ na enyocha gị ga-adị n'aka nke gị. La piacere ya n'ime ike. Imela ihe kwesịrị ime dịka nwafọ Ihiala ma nwafọ Anambra steeti ma nwafọ Nigeria. Ihe dị mkpa anyị ga-achọpụta taa bụ igwe a eji enyocha ndị mmadụ na ha arụ ọrụ dịka
So people, as I speak to you now, there is no, we logged on now to INEC server and we are looking at results for Ihiala. There are no results in Ihiala. We have Amamu, Amoka, Azia, Ihite, Iseke, Obolo, Okija. We have Osumohu, Ubolisuzo, Uli. Now we have Lilu, Uzoka, and Mbosi. So these are the polling units. These are the words that we have in Ihiala, 14 words in Ihiala, and no single result has come in. So in total for this election, INEC has accepted 5,115 results out of 5,720. So that confirms what I said before, that this stream will be short because I like doing the analysis, and when these analyses are done dispassionately, you can also see what I am seeing, and we will look at these results all together. No matter what, I think APGA, would go home as the final winner of this election. If that happens, that means that the will of the people had just happened. Because bear in mind, Anambra State, somebody sent me what Joey Bokwe said, that Anambra people don't want to play in the center, that they have also alienated Ndibo, again, by the pattern in which they voted. It's okay. Somebody should tell Joey Bokwe to go and drink cold water. See, if Anambra State could look Buhari in the eye and give him 5%, and after 4 years, he learned nothing. You know, if it were to be people like me, I would give him 0%, because if I gave him 5%, he called me 5%. So second time he came back, what did they do? And by virtue of not wanting to sound, or rather feel like they are worthless, some of them in the APC, what Anambra State eventually ended up doing is actually to repeat what they did in 2015, while other states like Ebonyi were struggling to, get him the minimum 25% requirement. Abia State, I think about 19 or 17, I can't recall now. Enugu State, obviously in the upward of the 20s, and Anambra State again. You see, some people say that we in the Anambra, that we are proud. So be it, But again, you need to understand that when they believe in something, even if with a gun in our heads, we can tell you, and you can see that certain things that is happening and is not taking certain shape is because the Anambralians haven't really bought into it and removed their gloves. Now, APCA has been in government since 2003 after the removal of 2006, after the removal of Dr. Chris Ngige, who is now a minister. That's a minister of labor and productivity. Anambra State had always been a state, relatively, aside the time he was kidnapped, Anambra State had relatively been the most peaceful state in the whole of the Southeast. Now, their developmental stride is not where we would want it to be, but comparatively, Anambra State is virtually the only state, okay, maybe not the only, but at least Enugu is also in the right trajectory, that has always consistently improved in whatever they had before. And we believe that whoever is going to come in, and in this case, very, very, very likely that it's going to be Professor Soludo. And many people will say, people don't, if Professor Soludo comes in, he's going to be only speaking grammar. Yes, speak grammar and bring development. So be it. So at the end of the day, it's going to be that if the people of Anambra so decided that they want someone who can develop them and give them what they want, and at the same time speak grammar, or bring it on. That's what they want. But one thing must be clear to the federal government and to others, to be very simple. Anambra State have made a decision, and that decision allow them to live by their decision, by voting who they think will represent in their, or rather their best interest. Now, some today in some Igbo forums have been arguing, if that be the case, that Anambra State have actually proven that this is what they want to do. If that be the case, that means, why can't other Igbo states join them in APCA? I said, well, it was almost done. Remember in the last two elections in 2017, actually, APCA won, I believe, Abia State and won Imo State, but INEC abracadabra happened and the state lost, Don't ask me how. In 2007, APCA actually won Imo State and was declared an Imo State governor under Rochas Anayochukwu Okorocha. And what then happened? The man went as the usual way, he decamped. And that was unnecessary, because imagine if he had stayed back in APCA, working with P2B at that time, they would have seen gradual takeover of the whole Southeast, and that is it. Then you can begin to negotiate as a bloc. Because everybody comes in and say, oh, this is what we want. If you don't give us this, you don't have our support. And so that's, I begrudge no one anything. I actually want eventually the Middle Belt to have their own party and begin to form a bloc. I want, if eventually, if it's possible, yes, national party is good for the national, if you talk about presidential, but on the regional level, I mean, if things, if you want some things done, then you basically begin to go home and do certain things, because at the end of the day, charity, they say, begins at home. So people, some people already voting for Professor Soludo or Peter Obi as the president. But again, people, let's finish the election first. But again, I hope Professor Soludo will not do an article where he will leave Anambra State and want to go for the presidency. Please, we need you. We have other capable hands that you can synergize. We need you in the state. All those things we've been discussing, all those things, all those developmental plans, we've been burning candles, sleepless nights, thinking how to make Anambra, how to make Southeast become the developmental, platform within Southern Nigeria. This is the time that we must walk the talk. We must walk the talk. We must walk the talk. Jeffrey, uns gets good. He gets there. Who is so been nice? I don't know. But like I said, people, so again, join me later today when I will do the full analysis. I am still, and I will say thank you very much for joining me. Anambra State election is going and is going on fine. There has been an incident and the victim was turned back. Someone, we believe, lost their life. Stay tuned and stay clued on to Njenje Media TV. We will keep bringing you the best update and the best analysis with real-time data. This is no compromise here, no propaganda, no emotions. Sometimes you may not like it, but even if after getting angry, you come back, when you calm down, rewatch it again, review it again, you will see how, if you take out emotions, how accurate some of the information you dish out could be. On that note, people, I say thank you once more. Thank you for being part of this stream. Join me once more later today when we will do full analysis. And once more, please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you haven't subscribed to our channel here at Njenje Media TV, where you get the most authentic, verified news, please, by all means, do. If you wish to support us, obviously, you can support us by the in the lower third banner there, you can see the account number with Zenith Bank if you wish, or you can use the super chat to support what we do to keep creating this content and doing this analysis for you. And one more last thing. If you liked what you watch, why don't you do us a favor? Why don't you just click on the share button? It's free to share. Share Kasia everywhere. Share Kasa. Share Kasa everywhere. Thank you once more for being part of this. And if everything goes on well by this evening, Anambra State might have a governor in waiting. On that note, I say I am still Mazen Ezoke. Join me later in the day. Bye for now.